Hello there everybody and welcome back to the LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga DLC showcase video. I'm going to switch up the format a little bit for these character showcases and put them into a review style to give you all of my thoughts on all of the characters in depth and tell you if I think the DLC is worth it or not. And today we're going to start with the Clone Wars DLC, arguably the most highly anticipated DLC of the entire game. We'll go in depth on every character, but before we do that, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to this channel to stay up to date with more Star Wars videos just like this. And let's get into the DLC. The characters in this DLC pack are Phase 2 Captain Rex, Asajj Ventress, Season 7 Mandalore, Darth Maul, Savage Opress, and Gar Saxon. My favorite character in this pack is Captain Rex, and my least favorite is Ventress. She doesn't have too much going on, and her appearance is kind of plain and boring to look at, even though it's based off of the 2015 minifigure. And Rex is just my favorite character in Star Wars, so I'll always be partial to him. Captain Rex's idle animations are some of my favorite in the entire game, all being unique and fitting his character alone. Plus, he does have some interesting voice lines while he's doing his idle animations. I like when he does his signature pose in there. Seeing him next to Phase 2 Commander Cody is such an awesome experience for the player, and just makes me want more to see this actual Captain Rex in minifigure form in LEGO to put next to my Cody and Bad Batch minifigures. His moveset isn't very different from any other clones, and his blaster shots are the wrong color, and unfortunately this isn't the first time this game has messed up with characters' weapons. They also didn't have Jango Fett's correct blaster sounds in the game. Overall, I think this might be one of the characters I use most out of the whole game, just because of how much I love the character, but he's not very unique all in all. Ventress is perhaps the most disappointing character in this pack, in my opinion. I know she's based off of the 2015 minifigure, but we don't really see her use this appearance in the 2008 Clone Wars, since this minifigure is based off of the 2D Clone Wars from 2003. Her fighting style is basically the same as Ahsoka's from the Mandalorian Pack 2, so I don't really see any point in using her. There's much better Sith options in this pack, and I would rather just use Ahsoka if I'm going to use a character with two blades. I think what could have made this minifigure a lot better was if there was a way to connect her two hilts together and make a single long lightsaber with two ends, and if they added a cloth piece instead of just using black legs to symbolize a cloth. Savage Opress is the character that surprised me the most out of the whole pack. He has a brand new look that is different from the minifig, with new legs and scary shoulder pads. He definitely feels intimidating and is so much fun to chain combos together with his double-bladed lightsaber, and definitely goes well with his brother, Darth Maul. Besides this, there's not too much else to say about his character, so let's move on to Darth Maul. I understand why they didn't do this, but I wish they gave Maul the Darksaber. It would have been so fitting and made him an even better character to use in the game. But as for what we do have, it's fine. He doesn't have much unique stuff going on with his character like Savage or Rex, but he's still interesting to look at, unlike Ventress. He does still have a double-bladed lightsaber, which I really was not expecting, because usually when I think of Clone Wars Darth Maul, he only has the one saber. But surprisingly, he has a double-bladed lightsaber, which I definitely think was the right choice, because if you think about it, he did have a double-bladed lightsaber at the end of Season 7. I just really wasn't expecting that, and I'm glad they included that. He's got a single little angry animation, and definitely is a necessary character for the pack, but overall not super compelling to use in the game when compared to characters like Savage and Rex. And finally for the pack, we have Gar Saxon, who I guessed would be in the pack, but I am still somewhat surprised at. I'm sure it's just because he's a cool minifigure that LEGO made recently, so they said why not and just made him. But I would have preferred Clone Wars skins for Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka over him. But alas, this is what we got. He's a cool character, and if you joined my streams where we are 100%ing the entire game, you'll know that I'm a sucker for the jetpack characters. His weapon is pretty average at best in terms of damage and fire rate, so he doesn't really feel unique in combat scenarios at all. He's fun to look at and fly around in for the limited time you can fly as him, and has some interesting idle animations, but at the end of the day, I don't think I would choose to use Gar Saxon over Bo-Katan, since she also has dual-wielding weapons, which I also love using in the game. Overall, I would give this pack a solid 8.5 out of 10. This is definitely one of the better DLC packs for the game, but it's not perfect. Rex has a few mistakes with his weapons, Maul could have had a Darksaber, and Gar Saxon and Ventress aren't super interesting in comparison to some other characters in the game. If I had to rank the characters in this pack, I would say that the best is Savage Opress, who could actually be tied with Rex and Savage Opress. It's hard for me to choose between those two. Third being Gar Saxon, Maul being fourth, and Ventress last. Even though it's not perfect, I do want to reiterate that this is just my opinion, and I do believe that this pack is something every player should pick up. Again, this is one of the best DLCs in the entire game, and I will be playing as Savage and Rex all the time now. Let me know what you guys thought of this DLC in the comment section down below, as well as liking and subscribing to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one, which will be the Summer Vacation DLC review, so stay tuned.